Hello everyone. This is Cece with the Raw&Honey podcast, and I know it's been definitely a couple weeks since my last post, but I'm really happy that have been able to create another episode for the new year. So we did take a little break, Raw&Honey did, so that we could just kind of get some ideas. I was starting to come to sort of a peak of the last series, and even though I hadn't really called it a series, I could tell that like it became a series, like it became a very pattern thing, and I just felt like it was time for something new. And I guess maybe the new year sparks that a little bit. But that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you. So I wanted to talk to you guys about sort of the recap of the last series and explain some of the really interesting things I learned from that series, and then also talk about our exciting new season that is going to come and start with our next episode. Not this one. This is more of the transition and the explanation and the reflection of the last series. So the last series was obviously the first series. It was really the creation of raw&honey. We began about 5 months ago in the summer of 2020. And it was sort of a really interesting journey because I remember it took me a while to figure out what I was doing this for and the direction that I wanted to go in. Because at first I came in really structured, and I just kept redoing the intention of the podcast and the structure of the podcast, like with each new episode. And I was like, okay, I just need to, like, I'm not ready to interview people. I'm not ready to commit to an interview format. Like, I really am just trying to feel out what this journey looks like, what the purpose of this is, how big we want it to be, all of that. And just stay away from making it feel like this job. It was feeling like a job when I started off. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to talk about me for a little bit. I'm going to go through some of my epiphanies, kind of get a little bit of an audience that gets to know me and the skills and tools that I've learned. And then I can bring other people in. So I think a lot of the tools I talked about in the last couple months in the last series, which was about, I think, 11 episodes, was about communication skills, understanding family dynamics, trying to be reflective and preventative before going into family situations, before going into just day-to-day life. Because when you live really reactively, it feels like you're just a victim to the world all the time. And if you really just know your own handbook and you know your own triggers and your own glitches and your own whatever it is, you can sort of appear in the world as just someone more ready to connect and to just be efficient in your environments. That doesn't mean that you're happy and perfect all the time, but it means you're just aware and you're present. So I think that is sort of what the last season was about. And yeah, I'm really excited to begin on this new journey. So what I kind of learned, what I started feeling toward my last episode, is I made a lot of transitions in my life. I really minimalized my space. If you guys haven't noticed, completely changed the space I'm in right now. I basically had a giant office in my house, and it was just absolutely decked out. It looked like I was a president or something. And it's gorgeous, but it almost was like a museum. I would do the podcast in there, but I would just feel like, this is not my element. This is not, maybe in the future when I have like 1 million degrees or something, I will want to put them all on the walls or something, but it just wasn't me anymore. So, and I wasn't feeling like creative in there. I was just feeling like almost kind of trapped by all the I don't know, just the spotlessness of everything, and like the fragility of all that memorabilia. Like, I have this fancy memorabilia that was like glass, and I'm like, this is not a comforting creative space for me. And everything was so big. Like, the desk was huge, the chair was huge, my giant printer. Like I was like, what is going on here? There's just way too much going on here. So I've really minimalized. Basically my whole office is inside my room now. And I just have a tiny little table that serves as my desk. And I changed my microphone. It's a much more portable microphone. It's this one right here that I'm talking into. And I just really minimalized, and I just feel like it was a really needed transition, and it kind of goes into the transition the podcast is taking as well. So sort of over the last couple of days, I've had a lot of people come up to me like, I really want to be on your podcast. And that's a total switch from what it was before. Because before, I was kind of the one asking people and they were bailing on me. And I was like, okay, this is bothering me. I'm like creating episodes around people and they don't really want to do it. Which is fine. Like not everyone wants to talk about what's the hardest thing you've ever been through. Like not everyone wants to speak on that stuff. So the people that do, usually they're probably going to gravitate to me. And so I had to sort of take some space. I still wanted to create the podcast, but I wanted to create it on my own time. And now that people have seen it and it's out there, I have a couple people that want to speak about their experiences. And so that is sort of the next series. We're actually going to start interviewing people. And I'm not saying that we're going to interview people every podcast, because I don't like the thought of it being a really structured season, because I feel like, just like the last season, I need to feel it out and feel the direction that it's going in. And maybe it's a mini series and I'm like, hey, I have a lot to say on my own again and I want to go back to that. Or maybe I mix it up in the series, a combination of interviews and some sort of tools that I learn as well on my own. So we'll see what direction it goes in. Raw Honey is very much still coming together. It's a lifelong journey, honestly. And another really exciting part, transition that's happening as well, is that Raw Honey we have kind of changed our name, because Raw Honey is already, other podcasts have that name already, and Raw Honey is our goal is to turn into an LLC business and trademark our name and stuff. So we're going to change the name. So I probably won't change the name on the podcast yet, because we're not ready to be an LLC, but I do just, looking forward to that in the future. And with that, we also have a website. It's a really cool website. I've worked pretty hard on it, and it's through Shopify, which is a merchandise, sort of a merchandise application that allows you to create a store. So Raw Honey is now selling like merchandise from the podcast logo. And I'm changing the logo up too, so it's not going to be the logo it is right now. It's going to be sort of like a really simple text saying Raw Honey. We don't have like a graphic logo. We probably won't ever have like a big graphic logo. We'll probably just have the texts in different fonts, because I just really want it to be simple, and I don't want this like giant picture anymore. I want to just kind of get back to our roots. So look forward to that. If you go on our Shopify account, which I'll put the link, it's our website, and you guys can buy merchandise which supports the podcast. We have mugs, we have crops, we like crop shirts, crop hoodies. We have, what else? Stationery, I think. Yeah, and a lot of different types of cups. So like I said, mugs, but we have like to-go mugs and to-go like larger mugs and to-go water bottles and stuff like that. So just look forward to that. If you guys can look on our website and see what you think. We're really excited about putting out that merchandise. And yeah, and on that website, it's also going to be the links to like everything we do. So we put our Spotify and YouTube, or we put our podcast in YouTube as well as Spotify. We're working to get into the Google, the iTunes podcast platform as well. We also have a Patreon account, which is another area that we sort of try to do fundraising so that we don't have to put ads into the podcast, because I really dislike ads in a podcast personally. Obviously, and it also takes time to get companies to sponsor you. And so maybe in the future, Raw Honey will have it, but if I can find a way for us to be supported and monetized without ads, I would prefer that, just because there's just no way to make those not sound fake. And, and not that I don't really support companies, I do. I just, I don't know. I really haven't ever vibed with ads before. So obviously you can skip them on Spotify and you can skip them on YouTube and stuff, but, I don't know. It's just kind of exhausting. So maybe if I really, really vibe with a company, I'll think about it, but it's like I don't listen to a podcast so I can listen to ads. I listen to it like I just want to keep Raw Honey like I do not want to say the word pure to describe it. Just unfiltered. I want to make it, I don't want to stop in between and be like, oh, let's stop this really vulnerable thought and talk about Macy's or something. Like, no, I don't want to do that. So, but watch in the next episode or the next season, we're going to like 15 ads. No, we're not going to do that. But yeah, so that's a really exciting transition. So there's a lot of stuff going on with Raw Honey right now. Ironically into the new year, right? And yeah, so I hope you guys have had a great new year. Please look at our website and see what you think. If you support us, that would be amazing. If you could represent some of our merchandise, and we should have some social media platforms coming to y'all, like probably a Instagram or something, Instagram account, so we can have hashtags and different things so you guys can help represent us in your own social media platforms. And then shout outs to some of my fellow partnerships. Tribe is the yoga nonprofit that I helped create, and they have an incredible opportunity right now. They're doing a yoga teacher training, a virtual yoga teacher training, and it is kind of primarily made for veterans in active duty, or cadets at RTC or West Point or whatever it is. So if you guys are interested in that, there's scholarships available, and there's also ways to donate and support veterans that have scholarships, so we can sort of balance the scholarships with the people paying. And then of course my dear friend Ella always has her stickers available. Endlessly Ella is her Instagram handle, and she does bundle sales and different sales for specific customers buying specific amounts. So reach out to her through her phone number. I'll put it below. And yeah, those are my people right there. So I hope you guys have a great holiday. And big thing to remember, in my opinion, about the new year is just be humble and kind to yourself. It is a new year, but it does not mean that you have to lose 50 pounds and get straight A's and whatever crazy bundle of goals you think you need to achieve in the next month. Just be humble and kind to yourself. Take the time to reflect on the last year, the good, the bad, and the ugly, because all those things made you who you are. And we all know that a lot of bad and ugly happened this year across the world. And just be present with those emotions. Even if it didn't affect you personally, a lot of hurt and pain happened in this last year and still is happening. And that's the world always, but it was sort of more in our face this year than it ever been. So just be present with those emotions. Let yourself be, both excited for the new year and nostalgic and maybe a little sad from the year before, and just be present with those emotions and let yourself feel the range that we're meant to feel. But Happy New Year, if I haven't already said that 15 times. And I'm really happy to see where Raw Honey has come and what Raw Honey is now. So I will talk to you guys later. Bye.